Beyond the beat goes on, yeah. Hot John's LA. Back. Brian Ingalls, back on the show. Welcome.
What else is there to say?
Sucker, that would never get old. Some people, all right, one more time. All right, enough of that.
I'd boo me too, so no big deal.
I get booed all the time. We got booed on Friday night, lost our first game 37-21. It's the same team, only team that beat us last year in the regular season.
Home or away?
At home opener. Took a 21-16 lead in the halftime. Came out, 3-and-out, punted. They returned it for a touchdown. We get the ball back, score. Play gets called back for a block in the back, away from the fuck. Well, it wasn't that far away from a play, but, just unnecessary. Kid would have scored anyway.
Yeah.
Ended up not scoring, lost 37-21 to the Bulldogs of Ayala, Ruben Ayala High School, right down the street from us. 2-1. I love it. We've won 5 of 6 halves we've played as a team, and already sky's falling. You know what I mean? Coaches need to have a meeting. Players need to have a meeting. You know what I mean? It's just one of the things. So many kids were crying after the game. It's like
kids were actually crying.
Yeah. And that's just them being passionate. Well, shit, man. Passionate. Losing is part of life. You got to accept it. It's part of sports. It's a lesson you learn. I mean, and people, knee-jerk reaction, be like, oh, well, you're passionate. You don't want to win it now. Well, that's not true, but you can't win them all. You can't.
No, of course.
Especially we're not even that good. I could see the last game of a senior in high school's career. Last time he maybe ever probably played football. A lot of most kids. But, week 3 loss. We got our asses kicked.
Sophomore on the bench crying that's fake.
The word, I don't know if it's fake. It's just acceptable. It's just the way things are now. Things don't change, Brian Ingalls.
I remember one time when I was in a swim meet and I lost and I got pretty upset.
Yeah. You cried. It's chlorine in my eyes, man. I'm not crying.
It was my Speedo was a little tight.
You have to wear Speedo, huh?
Yeah,
do you have to? Is it rules in swimming? You have to wear one?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know what you could wear, whatever you want to wear, but it's kind of.
It really makes a difference. You could feel a difference getting in the pool and doing your little races, like with regular swim, Tommy Bahama.
Oh yeah, you could tell.
Huge difference.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. It's called drag, but let's get off. Let's get out of here. Back to football.
Speaking of drag, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm not get to watch enough college football on Saturdays because I come home too late and then I end up doing shit on Saturdays. But I watched a little bit. And I was glad I got to see the BC Eagles beat the USC Trojans. You're not a BC fan. Why?
I never really liked that. I never really liked.
Well, first of all,
the students there.
Look at. We all know New England's not big. As many colleges as there are, not a big college football area.
No, but that's the best we have to offer, and
No doubt.
I could never relate to any of the students there when I was growing up. I just big money, cocky attitude, rich kid. Kind of wasn't my speed there.
It is a rich kid school, huh?
Yeah. But
huge win nonetheless.
Huge win, and for USC and kind of what I do, it's a momentum killer for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that. You needed USC to bank a couple wins early on and get some things rolling, and because you knew USC is not number 9 in the country. They're overranked.
They're not. But they very easily could be 1-2 now too. They barely beat Stanford, the week before.
Oh, 1-2, yeah.
So they could be 3-0 just as easily as 1-2. But with that said,
but perception's reality. And if you're 3-0, you're 3-0. And if people think you're good, they're going to go out and buy the merchandise.
Also, so they got a bye week, and then we've got they're home against Oregon State, and that should be. Who knows?
Against Oregon State?
Yeah.
Kid, I got it. One of my former players last year is getting run on Oregon State. You going?
Yeah.
I'm going. Give me tickets.
You're set.
I'm in.
That's the thing we're having the big party for. I told you about before.
Oh, shit, yeah. I already committed to that. Yeah,
so
I'm in again.
I already
committed
gave away
twice.
Got it.
But make sure you send me a text the day before.
I know.
Because I'll forget.
Dude, now I just remembered I gave away your tickets without even thinking about it, but I'll get you more, don't worry.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate that. Got a chance to watch a little South Carolina, Georgia. That was the only game I actually got a little bit of watching. Gurley's the best player in the country. Just wanted to throw that out there. So he should win the Heisman, even though he's not gonna.
Did you see when they did the split screen of him and Eddie George?
No, were they clones?
Literally clones. Yeah, I mean the guy's a beast for sure.
Oh, that was the only game I really got. I watched the second half of the BC USC game. Speaking of USC, Pat Hayden was fined $25,000 for running down the sidelines last week, where I praised him for.
Yeah.
Every AD should be able to do that. Mm-hmm. $25,000. That's more than I'm making 6 months for being a good AD.
Yeah, I think that's more of a slap on the wrist, but I don't know if he'll end up having to pay that.
I don't know. Where does that money go? You know what I mean? It seems like it's just play money. It's not even real money. Do they actually use it for good causes?
I have no idea.
You know, I'd love to see the NCAA, Mr. NCAA, go down and, actually put the money into the community somehow in that area. Do something in the SC area. Lord knows they need it in that area. Penn State sanctions lifted, eligible for a bowl game, even though the Big Ten is the worst conference in football right now. Oh, you can't even watch it. I don't even think it's necessarily what your boy says about cold weather teams. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Well, why are they all built like you, slower than you?
No, slower than me, please. No, they're not. Oh, you'd be surprised. You still do. You're a freak. The best athlete you've ever known in your life.
Oh, I believe it. But why are they so bad in the Big Ten?
I do think that is part of it, is the weather. But, there's some Michigan State still playing well. Yeah. Penn State will be back. Is just down for now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It seems like Iowa, Wisconsin, it seemed like they can't get it together. Iowa ended up losing Iowa State on the old try to freeze the kicker, which is the dumbest tactic in football. Why would you call a timeout for the kicker to try to, quote unquote, freeze him? All it does is give him more time to set up, find his spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should make them rush it. Make them try to rush it and beat the clock. You call a timeout, it's like, oh, all right. Then let me step back and hit it, It's not like a free throw. It's different than a free throw. Kicking field goals. I want to get off NCAA. It's too much to talk about the NFL world. Although I do want to throw this one out. A couple things. June Jones quit. You see that? Quit SMU.
I don't know. Who knows what the problem is, but he said it was a personal issue.
Yeah, personal issue means he's afraid they're going to get killed the rest of the season. I don't know. Who knows? But the guy's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
Does it really take to go 0 and finish the year? To me, that's quitting. I don't like quitters. I've never had any tolerance for quitters whatsoever. You ever quit a sport? You ever quit a sport in the middle of a season?
Middle of season, quit a sport. No.
Well, good for
you.
I
mean, it's not monumental to make it through the season, but I don't understand why he quit like that either. Just get through it.
I don't think it's monumental, but you'd be surprised how many people just up and quit in middle season, especially when they're kids.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And he's not a damn kid. He's probably 65. He's pushing 60. Names being thrown out. Early names being thrown out. Mac Brown at SMU because it's in Dallas.
Yeah.
Have you been?
I've been to the stadium. The stadium looks like a massive New England high school stadium. I mean, there's really nothing to it, but I don't know if you've been out there before, but that college is known as kind of the Ivy of that area. I mean, it's a beautiful campus, brick. Reminds me of Dartmouth. And then they got a football field here, and it's not too over the top. And it's, probably packs in, 25, 30,000 people, whatever the minimum is. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I was there in the Texas, remember I was asking you about a couple weeks ago, 5 or 6A high school championship game was being played there, and they were filling it up.
Huh. They've never rebounded from the death penalty back in the 80s in the Pony Express. Saying Mac Brown, Phil Fulmer, names being thrown out. I'm surprised you don't see, you do see Phil Fulmer once around. Mac Brown's on TV now.
He's not leaving that job.
Yeah, right. Usually those guys go to the job and they kick back and you know what? This is awesome. I still get to watch film. I get paid tons of money and I don't do anything. And I work, I work 3-4 hours a week.
We got to figure they probably fly Mac Brown up there to New York on Friday. Does a show Prep Friday. Does a show Saturday. He's out of there Saturday night.
Right. Speaking of Texas, UCLA just seems to be
lucky.
But lucky, but they beat Texas. And I know Texas is down and haven't been good, but they still, every year, Texas is always in the top 10 in recruits.
They just look so...
They got players, but what is Texas's deal?
Well, it sounds like they don't have enough players to keep up with the injuries they're having.
You're just getting snake bitten?
Could be, yeah.
I don't know. Jerry Neuheisel leading the Bruins to a victory.
Telling the team that this is what he's been waiting for his whole life at halftime, getting carried off. I mean, he's kind of got
They carried him off?
Yeah, he's got a little Rudy in him.
He does have some Rudy in him. Is he a senior?
I don't think so.
There's another. I wonder what the old man's going to resurface somehow, some way.
Yeah,
You would think.
And an offensive coordinator in Jacksonville.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But shit, speaking of UCLA, segue into the NFL. Do I really want to get into games? There's too much shit to talk about to get into the games right away. Got to just one of the as I said a couple of weeks ago, you just way back in the NFL, every week is a new adventure. This was a huge Monday, the Ray Rice video. Friday, the Adrian Peterson controversy, if you will. First thing, we got to talk a little bit more about Ray Rice, although I've talked about it ad nauseum. Bottom line, do you think Goodell saw the video?
I think there's going to be video that comes out of Goodell, Ray Rice, together smoking a joint, watching it.
What is this? The WWE sitting back in the, oh my God, that's Roger Goodell. He's watching the video.
You'd have to think, I mean, based on everything that everybody knows about the NFL, that they can get their hands on that video. And for him not to see it in the way that he, rules with an iron fist over all this other shit, why wouldn't he want to kill this guy?
How dumb could he be, though, if he, A, didn't see the video, and B, saw the video and thinks that no one's gonna, you would think he'd just wait. Just suspend him indefinitely and wait. But at the same time, you said earlier you think Ray Rice is getting a raw deal. Why?
For all the female listeners, don't get mad at me. No, I think he's, it's tough to see a guy who knows if it was one time or multiple times what he did. But I mean, the whole country's jumping on the subject. Like,
right.
It's where was all this, activism or whatever you want to call it before he hit her? No, I mean, it was kind of a issue like everything else. And now, like, he hits her and everybody's on TV talking about domestic violence. Like, I never heard anyone talk about it before it happened. It wasn't, So, I don't know.
You can't defend, but this day and age, it's so prevalent. You did something wrong. Everyone likes to point at someone else. Look at him. It's almost like it's like a modern day culture of the witch hunt. It's like, you repent. You are unrighteous.
Did you see Dicka today?
No, I try to avoid him, but sometimes he makes some
So
points.
Chris Carter, you'll probably see it, but Chris Carter's on.
I did see the Chris Carter thing.
Chris Carter's crying, and Mike Ditka was talking about when he would, I guess, discipline his kid, and he was saying...
You switch subjects. We're talking Ray Rice, but go. Keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Keep going.
No. But it was, anyways, he was talking about that, and he was also talking about you never hit anyone in the butt. That's it. He's like, you just don't hit him in the butt. And it was like, dude, what are you talking about?
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, that's I don't know. Sorry to play away, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I thought that would be the place to. You threw me off. I was in Rice mode. Now I'm in AP mode.
No. Sorry, dude.
I agree. Look, here's the deal. I don't think the NFL should take away Ray Rice's ability to be able to make a living. That being said, nobody's going to sign him. No NFL teams. Why would they sign him? There's 50 Ray Rices out there nowadays. Ray Rice is not that good. He's good. He was good with that team that played great defense and that ran the ball, behind a good O-line. But no team's ever going to sign him. I don't think the NFL should say you can never play again. Especially when you got a guy like Ray McDonald playing in the defensive line. I just watched not 15 minutes ago playing for the 49ers, who supposedly hit his pregnant wife. Talk about combining Adrian Peterson and Ray Rice. He brought them both. Put it all on the table right away. And he's out there playing right now. I mean, I would literally use that word. People use that word too much. I would think that there have been well over 100 guys who've done just as bad. It doesn't make it right. That continue to play in the NFL doing what Ray Rice did. Ray Rice was just foolish enough to do it in an elevator.
He wasn't thinking. He was hammered.
Of course he wasn't
I would
thinking.
bet there's 100 guys in the NFL this year, in this month, that have done.
Oh, I wouldn't say 100 this month. Jeez, I think that's a little bit much.
Well, hey, go ahead, take it. But I would think that there's a lot. It goes on a lot more than you think. And even if Richie Incognito, he can't even get back.
Richie looks like a saint right now.
Yeah, exactly. He can't get back in the league for what he did. There's no way anyone's going to sign Ray Rice.
Oh, no way. Ray Rice is done. Of course. But now let's flip it. If Ray Rice were Adrian Peterson, would somebody sign him? You know what I mean? If Adrian Peterson didn't do what Adrian Peterson did, but if it was Adrian Peterson caught in the elevator, would somebody want to sign him?
I would have to say yes.
Which is a segue. Adrian Peterson, Obviously, we all know a story. He used a switch on his son, 4-year-old son. He has been indicted by a grand jury on charges of child endangerment.
Who turned him in?
I don't know.
Baby?
That hasn't come in. Who has turned him in?
It has to be the baby mama. I'm assuming it's not his wife or anything. I'm assuming that he had custody of his kid for the weekend and whooped him up.
Assume that, man.
Well, I mean, he had the other baby that passed away in North Dakota.
That's one of the things that they're really not talking about on the mainstream networks because,
He's got kids all over the place.
He has several kids, but look, you think if you lost a child to the same, same type
abuse.
of thing, to abuse, geez, you would think you'd be a little bit sensitive to her for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the pictures of the Waltz and the kids?
I still haven't seen them. No, they're out there. You saw them?
Yeah, they look like they're significant. I mean, if you're hitting a kid and disciplining him, I don't think there should be a mark, period.
Yeah.
If you're smacking your kid in the butt, his butt's going to be red because you hit him. But
that's a hard thing, though. It's a cultural thing. Charles Barkley, I actually thought Charles Barkley I like Charles Barkley for the most part. I thought he was really good today on CBS. I hope they bring him back more. They probably will because I'm sure the public outcry will demand it. Anyways, he was saying it's a cultural thing. Right or wrong, it's a cultural thing.
Well, it's the same thing with Michael Vick. It was a cultural thing.
That's true. And if that's what the segment population does, you're going to really... I think this is his opportunity to go to the Cowboys. I think Cowboys going to buy low here. I really do. I think Jerry Jones licking his chops. And they come out with some kind of two-headed monster of Adrian Peterson and DeMarco Murray, which would be awesome.
That'd be good. Two guys from Oklahoma.
Yeah. But I think he's done. I don't think he's going to play with the Vikings anymore.
So they're supposedly meeting tonight to decide his fate, and all options are on the table. So bring him back
that
next
means
week.
you bring him back or you don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think they're thinking about, they could cut him. Who knows?
I think they should cut him for the reason that they owe him so much money over length of this contract. He's not going to be worth it. With their performance today, and I actually want to get in the games here in a minute. With their performance today, they clearly put on the table that they are pretenders and they're no way going to be competing for a Super Bowl this year, probably next year or the year after.
I'm surprised they didn't start Bridgewater after half.
Just give the fans what they want. You know what I mean? Screw it. You're going to mentally scar Teddy Bridgewater that badly. He's going to have a bad career because he goes in and doesn't win this game. Yeah, amazing. It's that Vikings team. All right, let's do it. Let's get in the Patriots. I wasn't impressed with the Patriots. However, I'm glad they got back to the formula that I was pleading for them to get back to, which is have Brady throw the ball 22 to 25 times, play action, run the ball, get turnovers on defense, get a special team plays. That's what they did when they won. And then they morphed into this Tom Brady just chucking the ball 45, 50 times and putting up all these numbers. No. That's not how they never won a Super Bowl that way.
Right.
But running the ball, getting plays in the secondary. Secondary looks good, obviously, with Revis.
Oh, yeah.
McCourty has ability to make plays. Logan Ryan, just one of those guys. Arrington, even used Denard today. But that was a game today where the Vikings lost that game. The Vikings gave that game to the Patriots. And everybody's on, Mike Zimmer. Speaking of UCLA, to bring some stuff back, they draft Anthony Barr, a kid from UCLA.
The D-end.
Exactly. The pass rushing outside linebacker D-end. He played a Sam linebacker position, 4 yards behind line of scrimmage all game. Never rushed the passer once. To me, that's absurd. I get more upset about that than I do about Ray Rice or Adrian Peterson. It's like, you draft this guy as a pass rusher in the top 10, and then you back him up and play him 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Kind of like what they're doing with Clowney. He's a pass rusher, but at least they're pass rushing him, but they're dropping him into coverage a lot of times as well. And that's not what he does, and that's not why they drafted Barr. I don't know. I don't know about anything. I know some teams show themselves as being pretenders today. What games? Well, the Patriot game was a national game. Do you get DirecTV? Do you get all the games?
I do. Yeah, I was poolside watching the in Palm Springs watching so the Patriots was national. Yeah.
Yeah, poolside. I can't stand watching games in public, man. I only like watching games with 2-3 people who know football. Most, maybe 4 or 5 if they're all Patriot fans. I can't watch games in public, especially out here because it's such a diverse
it's everybody's
crowd, and everybody wants to prove that they're the biggest Kansas City Chiefs fan ever friggin' come out of Missouri, they watch these games and every first down they're clapping. It's like this bar I go to where they show the Dodger games. It's amazing the Dodgers, you can only watch the Dodgers, if you have a certain cable package. That would not fly. And there would be a mutiny. If that was happening in Boston, there would be a mutiny like there was with Demoulas, but I'm isolating some audience members. But you followed that Demoulas case, did you?
Yes, I did. Arthur S. versus Arthur T.
Arthur T. Oh, that shit's hilarious, by the way. But I don't
easy to buy underage beer in Demoulas for all those wondering.
In New Hampshire, because you couldn't buy it in Massachusetts.
No, we go in with a fake, easy.
They don't sell beers in the fucking liquor stores, and you get a selective memory kit.
No, Demoulas is a grocery store.
Yeah, I know what it is.
So they never sold beer in there?
They don't. No.
What?
No, you must have went over the border. No, they don't sell beer in grocery stores in Massachusetts.
Oh, is it Market Basket then?
It's the same thing.
I swear, man, we were posting.
Maybe
we just.
You must have went over the border. You live right on the border.
No, but I think maybe we were trying to buy beer from places that wouldn't sell beer to begin with.
Yeah, I'm telling you a fact. They don't sell beer in grocery stores in Massachusetts. Regardless, it's true. Oh, you lost my train of thought. Now I'm all fired up thinking about Demoulas and Market Baskets, which is the same damn thing. Good to see John Rucker's on Survivor. They show the commercials, man. Even with the DVI, I try to rewind as much time as I can so I can fast forward through the commercials. I just can't get enough Hans and Franz. Franz commercial just makes me want to go out and buy whatever it is they're selling.
Well, it's that, and then you see Biggest Loser?
No, I'm looking at him.
Cue the music or the booing. No, you see Scott Mitchell on there?
Yeah.
And then Damian Woody's on there.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Same episode?
Yeah, same season. They're trying to lose all the weight. Yeah.
Boston College alumni.
Yep.
Speaking of local alumni, Jenny Dell rocking the sidelines too. Even though she almost got ran over today. Talk about they should be upset about that. They being feminist. It's flaunting Jenny Dell out there wearing that tight shirt. You see it?
I love her. Yeah.
Oh my God, everyone does. Is that the one who was engaged to Middlebrooks? No, isn't it another one?
Is that Jenny Dell?
I think it's Jenny Dell.
Is it? Yeah, that is Jenny Dell.
I don't know. Poor Pam Oliver gets pushed aside for the Jenny Dells of the world, but you know how it is, Pam. Dog eat dog world. Shit. I try to watch Red Zone, but I think we talked about this before, but I just can't. I don't like Red Zone. It's not built for me. It's built for the generation right after me.
It totally is. When I watch it, I feel like I was saying last week or week before, I feel like I've watched nothing.
Yeah.
It's bouncing around. And if the Patriots are on, I don't give a shit about anyone else. Cowboys are on, I don't care. I just want to watch that. And
in football, you watch the games, they have flows to it, and there's a narrative to it. If you're just chopping it up, it's like watching a movie and just getting to the good parts of the movie and not seeing how the plot progresses. I don't know if that's too pseudo-intellectual, but I think that's true. You just lose that flavor.
It's too intellectual for you to be saying that, but
yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know. So I ended up. So my point is, I watched the Patriot game till the end, and the second game I said, look, I'm going to sit down and watch this Jets Green Bay game. Although I regret not watching the San Diego game. Mm-hmm. But I thought this was the game, and I hate this. But for some reason, I kind of see myself pulling for the Jets. I like Rex Ryan, man. I like the way he coaches football. And I like the way they play. And I thought they turned the corner, and they didn't.
You like Rex Ryan and his feet rubs?
No, I don't. No, I just think he's a good coach. I think he's
I do like how he sticks up for his guys.
I think the players love him.
Yeah.
He looks like he's actually having fun. God forbid, an NFL coach actually have fun other than
Would you rather play for him or Belichick?
Oh, not even close. And I think if you polled the NFL players, it would probably be 75-25, And I say the only thing Belichick has going for him is the Super Bowl rings, which, but take those out of the equation, it's not even close. Everybody would want to play for Rex. So my point is, I thought this is the Jets, all of a sudden the light's going to go on and the Jets are actually going to be good because I still think Geno Smith's going to be good, and regardless of what people think. I think Geno Smith's got a lot of talent. I think he's got a great arm and he can get out of the pocket. In this NFL, and that's what I was talking about last week with Brady, I think the way the NFL is now, you have to have escapability. And you have to be able to run and throw it out at arm angles. And that's why you look at the way, they always talk about fundamentals and quarterback position. You see the way Aaron Rodgers gets out and just flicks the ball from odd angles with the wrong foot up. You know what I'm saying? And just has that arm strength. And Brett Favre was like that as well.
Yeah.
Elway was like that as well. They make such a big deal of these combines. Look at his forearm. The guys who throw like statues. But the game's not played that way, especially now. And I think Geno Smith can do that. And I think they run the ball. They make a commitment to running the ball. And I don't care what football outsiders say about the only reason teams that win traditionally run the ball more is because they're winning. I don't know if you ever read that article. Yeah. Bullshit. It's because running the ball sets everything else up. And it's so much more difficult to defend a play action pass than it is against a guy who's just sitting up there running shotgun and turning around and throwing the ball. You know what I'm saying? You know, even in my little scrub career, when I got back there and you knew that they were throwing the ball, you saw the offensive line was tipping it off or the quarterback. That's the way it was. And you're like, oh, good, they're going to throw the ball. I can jump on this route. I can cover it. I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyway, what I'm saying is the quarterback who can get out and throw is a guy who's valuable. And Tommy can't do that. That's what scares me. But you know who actually went out and did it today? Your boy Phillip Rivers. You're a San Diego fan, aren't you? Didn't you used to?
I hated San Diego when I lived there.
Did you?
I hated the fans. I hated the team.
I thought you knew a guy. No, that's someone else.
Every time the New England came out, the greatest game ever was when New England played there in the playoffs. Remember Troy Brown played defense, stripped the ball back, did all that.
Yes.
And that was the heartbreak the Chargers fans have had the last 10 years of almost getting there is pretty unprecedented. I mean, they're on the cusp and they just kind of go backwards.
I don't know. This is the biggest win they've had in, at least 5 years.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Seattle. Amazing. Especially after last week's loss.
Yeah, but who knows if Matthews is coming back. It looks like he's done.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Running back carted off. Forecast not good. You know?
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he got hurt in the fourth quarter.
But speaking of it, there's a bunch of injuries today. No Sean Moreno out. RG3. I think that's it. I think that's the Wally Pitt moment. I think RG3 is done.
Yeah.
In Washington.
But why is he getting hurt so much? Just the way he plays? Because, I mean, like, these plays he's getting hurt on, like, I know that, last year, 2 years ago when he was getting crushed and that whole thing with his knee, but this ankle thing could have been anyone.
Yeah, he's a track guy. And these super athletes, if you will, are really injury prone because they're almost too well built, if that even makes sense.
They don't have the tendons to hold up all their muscles. And
they may have too many of those tendons. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they're like perfect specimens physically that are very delicate. It's like the fine china. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, look at the intricacy of this detail of this. All of a sudden, there's a little crack in it. Instead of like the nice pewter freaking bowl that's going to be there, solid, boom. Those guys that just always going to be there. I just feel like RG3 is just too well put together. And that's it. I think Kirk Cousins taking it over.
Well, the thing about Kirk Cousins, every time that he gets this opportunity.
He shines.
There's no like, oh, he did okay. Everybody's like, dude, this guy, he can play. And like, not Jay Gruden, John Gruden said I would trade him. I remember this last year before. I would trade him now for like a second-round pick. But, I mean.
No way. That's
now you got to have him.
I think shit, I know it's early and things change, but dare I say a franchise guy? I mean, I think he's a good quarterback. But I think there's a ton of good quarterbacks, like I've talked about before. There's a bunch of good quarterbacks. It just seems like teams either misjudge that position or I think you can get guys. And I think Kirk Cousins is one of them. I think RG3 is done. I wonder what RG3 ends up on. Tennessee. I can see him on Tennessee.
The Raiders.
For some reason. Speaking of Tennessee, Dallas looked good today.
I didn't see any of it.
What?
I didn't watch one play of it.
Why not? Just wasn't available? Oh, it's the same time as the Patriots.
Yeah, it wasn't available, and sometimes it's better not. It's better to find out the result. There's no point in grinding out that
But they look good, and they played the way they should play. Tony, it's amazing. I don't want to, talk over and over again about the same things, but they threw the ball like 27, 28 times. Gave the ball to DeMarco Murray, 30 times, which it seems unprecedented.
He's a beast, that guy.
He's awesome. He's awesome. And they won. They went out and played good defense, and they didn't turn the ball over. And lo and behold, there you go. And they played in the Blues today.
Yeah.
They never play in the Blues. Why?
Never play in the Blues, but...
Why? Because they wear the whites at home, and everybody likes to wear the colors at home. Right?
Yeah. But they just... Well, yeah. So if they come play New England likes their blue.
Pretty much. It used to be pretty standard operating procedure that everybody wore their colors at home.
The dark colors at home. And Cowboys have just stuck with the white, but they do the... This will be the first time in I forget how many years, but 15 years or so where they've worn blue 2 games in a row. So
how many years?
Like over 15 years, something ridiculous.
15.
So I'm going there in 2 weeks for the Saints game, and they'll be wearing the whites, rocking it for the Sunday night game.
Who they play in 2 weeks and playing the Saints?
Yep. So, but they'll both be doing the blue. But I get more requests for people that want to buy blue than white.
Oh, yeah, because everybody wants to be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone wants the alternative jersey. That's why the NHL went to that, and jersey sales went through the roof. Yep. The NBA does it as well.
Yep.
I think there's got to be rules with the NFL, I'm sure. Speaking of New Orleans, Cleveland with that big win today.
Hoyer.
Nah, you know what, though? This shit's getting out of control. Good for Brian Hoyer. Good for the Cleveland Browns. Good for Mike Pettin. I'm glad that they beat New Orleans because of my well-documented disdain for Sean Payton. I don't really like Drew Brees either. It's not about Drew Brees. It just rubs me raw. I don't know.
He's too perfect.
No, not perfect. You kidding me? He's flawed. The guy got a freaking birthmark the size of your freaking hat on his face. That's not perfect.
I don't
I wouldn't say he's perfect. I don't know. I don't like his whole freaking little chant. I don't know. And Sean Payton, I've spent too many zeros and ones talking about Sean Payton to reiterate that. But good win for Cleveland. And what's wrong with pulling for Brian Hoyer and pulling for Johnny Manziel? Johnny Manziel's another guy who might just end up being on another team. And speaking of quarterbacks too, Connor Shaw's still really good too, but he's sitting on the bench in Cleveland. Buffalo looked real. Did you get a chance to watch it? Buffalo is real. I don't care what anybody says. Buffalo is real. Slush, I don't care what you say just because they're Buffalo. Buffalo is good.
I respect what Slush says. They're not real. They're going away.
Well, going away, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. But I tell you what, as much as it pains to
they're
say,
in first place right now.
I will bet you. Let's do it. I mean, I hate betting against the Patriots, but I'm doing it. I'll bet you $10 Buffalo takes one of these games against the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots beat them twice. I think Buffalo's just built well. They're built to beat the Patriots.
Deal.
Yeah, Buffalo's loaded. The only question mark is EJ Manuel.
Yeah, well, we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Of course.
We didn't like him.
Well, I said I wouldn't go as far as say I don't like him. I don't think he's the guy who's going to win a Super Bowl for you. But I think they can win some games with them. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they made a team that Miami made the Patriots look bad last week, although Tom Brady is 6-7 in Miami. Isn't that something?
Yeah, but what is Tom Brady in Buffalo? He's got to be like 13-2.
Yeah, right. In Buffalo, yeah, I'm sure he has. Well, he's played. Well, if he's 6-7 in Miami, means he's played 13, 14 years. Yeah, I would venture to say he's probably like
12-2.
12-2 in Buffalo. I would say that'd be a fifth.
He lost the Loy Malloy game.
Lost that one game, and other than that, I can't really think of any. But glad Atlanta lost. Man,
they suck.
Good.
Get on the bus, guys.
And I think Cincinnati's all right. And I think Cincinnati's all right at home. I think Cincinnati plays good defense.
Huge article this week about Andy Dalton in Sports Illustrated.
What about him? He has red hair.
Well, not just that, but his statistics, his first 4 years in the league, are unrivaled.
Rivaled anyone's. Yeah, I did see someone said that. Yeah.
But when you add in red hair, it doesn't matter. It's a moot point.
Piss off. Talk about a discriminated against faction.
I got a fucking red beard, so
I
it's
didn't know.
okay.
I never even heard the term fucking ginger until like a South Park episode a few years ago. Now it's fucking ginger. Grew up my whole life looking like this, and then, what the fuck's a ginger? Lord, it's discriminated against. Bringing people will stand up one day and standing up, Washington, couple. Oneida tribe, am I saying that right? And a National Congress of American Indians sent a letter to every NFL owner. It's on. It's over. There's no way that the Redskins are the Redskins next year.
So explain it more. What did they say?
They said that it's a racial epithet, and they sent letters. They both drafted letters to every NFL owner saying that they should be outraged.
Do you think the owners get this? Like, is it like you and I get in the mail?
I don't know.
I got this thing in my mailbox. I mean, shit, I don't open my mail, period.
Yeah, but I'm sure
imagine.
if they showed up with some, 6-foot Indian chief standing there, delivering letters, standing in the front, they can open it. Oh, peace pipe. Racist, bro. Racist. It's over. Washington's over. The Kirk Cousins era. It's the Washington Cousins. It's being ushered in. Talk about disappointment, too. Matt Stafford is the worst. Period. I don't care what anyone says ever. They got embarrassed today versus Carolina.
He looks like, to me, like Scott Zolak running around. Just happens to have a full-time job. I don't know what, he obviously got the big contract and he's a stud, but dude, what the fuck is he doing?
Perfect example of the passing stats in the fantasy era just being overrated. The guy is what did I, 2-30 versus, literally 2-30 versus teams with winning records. Carolina beats him up today. Carolina's good. Carolina plays defense, and I don't care what anyone says about the maturity level of Cam. Cam Newton's a baller, period. All week he's calling him Donkey Kong Sue. I like that shit. The Boomer Esiasons of the world will think that's classless.
Oh, yeah.
I actually like what CBS Today has done, though, changing up the crew.
I do, too, but
I like Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez seems like he's offering a fresh perspective.
Awesome guy.
But Scott as well.
Yep.
Even though I think people who wear bow ties try too hard.
Totally.
But Boomer Esiason's a weirdo. You ever watch the way he, like all of a sudden it seems like he's talking to himself. Just seems like he's mumbling.
He seems very difficult to possibly even get along with.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when Lawrence Taylor came out, he's like, what the hell you got Boomer Esiason on TV talking about me? I can't stand Boomer Esiason. Yep. Especially Boomer Esiason is out hoeing and acting like he's holier than now. I respect Boomer. What the hell? I just don't think he should be on TV anymore. Games pass you by, Boomer. Last game I even want to talk about in the pro game. Arizona giving it to the Giants again. The Giants are a fucking joke. Thank God.
I'll give a shout out to my boy Jay Monaforte. Fuck you.
Who's Jay Monaforte? Just a buddy of yours?
Yeah, he's such a Giants homer.
Well, one of my homies is a coach for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan Rhodes. It's too bad.
The thing about it is that they beat us in those 2 Super Bowls.
I know.
So we're just done. We're just done.
And Giant fans don't even like Eli Manning. Every Giant fan I've ever met usually has some kind of shot at Eli Manning. But the fuck it did it to us twice, man.
That's it.
And you can't even...
Can't say anything. I can sit there
nothing.
and talk shit to my buddy all I want, but at the end of the day, he can punch you with the Super Bowls.
I know. And the second one...
And let's be honest, both of those could have been ours.
It should have been.
So Tommy could have 5.
Patriots.
Tommy could have 5.
Oh, and be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
He also, though, could almost have none.
They went out, 2 of the 3 by field goals.
Yeah.
But that's sports.
True.
That's sports. But, yeah, I know the freak circumstances. But they have it. I actually got in an argument with a guy who's a Giant fan and hates Eli Manning. But he's a little turd or something. He's a British guy, buddy of mine anyway. I'm like, he ain't little. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, I guarantee you he's at least 6'4". He's like, no, he's not. I'm like, okay, what do you want to bet?
He's huge.
Yeah, he's huge. The Manning brothers are huge. They walk in a room and they're like, the biggest fucking donkeys I've ever seen in my life. They're both of them. No little fucking. Speaking of weird looking, how about having Mike Carey, the former NFL referee, every freaking 2 seconds? You didn't really watch the game like that.
But I do find it weird that they have these refs who've kind of like made the switch.
Mike
now
Pereira.
They're on the other side. Mike Carey, is he no longer refereeing? I mean, I know he's an attorney and everything, but is he kind of like gone to the dark side now? Is he just in studio?
Yeah, he's retired. He's a retired referee, Doc. I mean, fuck, the guy's probably. I wonder how much money a guy like that makes doing that. Just giving inane opinions on things.
You'd have to say 16 weeks. He's there the entire weekend, prepping on Saturday, Sunday. You'd think that guy's making $300 to $500.
$1,000 a year for doing that?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yep.
See, I'm a, stupid school teacher. I don't even know what, like, real money is, like how real market works. But yeah.
As a ref, he's making a couple $100,000.
They make that much?
Yeah, but they also, like him and...
how come none of them are full-time?
A lot of them are successful, own law firms. Hockey League has a law firm in San Diego. I mean, all those guys, in Arizona. So those guys all do something else on the side. But I mean, they're not Joe Schmoes.
Right, because they're that type A, organized, super control freak type guy.
Yeah.
That's the reason they're getting in that business, and they have a lot of time off in between.
Yeah.
So they're going to fill.
So they go. So like they're
not going to be kicking in Palm Springs.
Yeah, I think that they get their You referee a game on Sunday. Tuesday, you get where you're going. Wednesday, you do a conference call with other refs. Friday, you're watching tape. Saturday, you're there meeting with your other refs, talking about stuff, and the game on Sunday. I mean, it's kind of a pretty quick turnaround. But those guys, I mean, that's the thing.
They make that much? You sure?
I would think that yes, I do think they're making about $100,000 to $200,000 as a ref. But that's the point. People are saying you need to pay them more.
Why more? That's plenty of money.
No, so that they knock off.
I'm a goddamn school teacher. I make half of what you just said, if that.
So that they stop doing these other jobs. So that you're a professional ref, like a major league umpire.
Just watching film over and over again.
Yeah, Major League Baseball. Obviously the schedule is different, but those guys aren't, being a handyman on the side.
Yeah, well, if you get all that time off though, and if you are that type A personality, why wouldn't you just find it doing something else? I don't know. Moving on, the NFL drug policy. It's not official yet, but they're saying, I can't even understand half the verbiage of all the strikes and systems and all that, but they're saying they're going to pump up the tolerance for weed. I don't know what that makes sense, from 15 NGs per milliliter to 35. I don't know. You're getting high. What does that even fucking matter? You know what I mean? What does a milligram per nanoliter mean anyway? I mean, dude, you're going to fucking put one up in the air. You're going to put one up in the air.
Yeah.
So I would hope the guy would get his money worth. Like, oh, no, you only took one toke, man.
So when you get tested, if you have a certain level now, it's gone up for you. So if you totally blazed and they drug test you, you're better off now than you were before, correct?
I think so. I think there's a little bit more tolerance as far as like your first, second, third times getting caught. But the big thing, and you the weed thing, that'll work itself out. But the big thing is now they're going to be testing for HGH. And that shoe is dropped, meaning you're going to see guys, as soon as they implement this, dropping like flies. Kid, I'm convinced 75% of the league, maybe more, is using HGH. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they? You'd be an idiot not to. They don't fucking test for it.
I mean, shit, half the adult population that cares about keeping themselves in shape is using the stuff too.
Right? As soon as I get the money to do that shit, I'm going to I want to look like that 70-year-old man that's all ripped up and shit. Yeah, fuck yeah. Why wouldn't I? No,
I totally get it. But all these guys, and eventually they're going to loosen up on that as well.
Yeah, but this is the first step of them actually, and now I guess Wes Welker could have been activated if it was official or whatever, but it's not official. Now they're going to bring Josh Gordon back after 10 games from selling cars or whatever. I don't get it. Wes Welker should be suspended. If he's taking Adderall, it should be suspended. Adderall is a fucking amphetamine. I talked about that before. It's called amphetamine salt. It's fucking right in the name of it, Wes Welker. Don't give me like, oh, I didn't know. The NFL is so messed up. NFL is kind of messed up, and the players are messed up in it as well. Greg Hardy, the guy who beat up his wife or his fiance or his baby mama, one of the one, and then put a couple guns on the bed and wrote some kind of note. Carolina stood up and did the right thing today. They suspended him with pay, making $770,000 a week. $770,000 a fucking week to stay home and not play. Disgusting. I don't even know why I watch it. I don't know why I spend so much time on it. Fucking, that's more money. I know I say shit, but that's more money than I'm fucking making 15, 20 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The guy could stay home.
Yeah, so, I mean, as I said before, those guys only, obviously, not to justify it, they get paid every Monday only during the season. So whatever they're making.
So what?
I know exactly, but it's still ridiculous either way. But it's
$770,000 to sit at home and do nothing this week. And that's why I love it when I talk.
Why would you hit anyone? I mean, if I got $70 a week, I would be arrested for drugs, no doubt about it. But like, dude, why would you want to beat up a chick?
Yeah, I know you would think you'd have a little more stuff, but they just lose perspective. We lose perspective as people. I'm going on an economic rant for a second. Bear with me. But everyone always talks about how the economy is so bad and things are so bad, but you got these fucking clowns out there making more money than average fucking Joe like myself makes in half his working life in one fucking week. But everybody's like, oh, the economy's so bad, everything's going to fucking hell. No, we just put our money into shit that don't matter. Guardians of the fucking Galaxy making $1 billion. Avatar, the two most successful movies in the history of movies are Avatar and Titanic. They both fucking sucked. I don't know where I'm going with that point, but you get what I'm saying? Things aren't that bad. We're just putting the money in the shit that don't matter.
Question, what do you think, I've thought about this before, what do you think Tom Brady and Peyton Manning in your world should make a year as quarterbacks? $250? $250,000? $300,000?
In my world?
Yeah, no. Just seriously.
I think $1 million.
Tops.
$1 million, million and a half, maybe. Yeah, tops.
I agree with that. I agree. I mean, this 20 to 30, whatever the hell's going on.
Because they could go out and make millions more doing other things. It's just,
but then people are like, oh, the owners are taking it home. And like you and I have argued about it. I'd rather have the owners have the money than the players. I don't know why.
That's weird. That's weird. You drink the Kool-Aid somewhere along the line. That's dumb. What are you, fucking nuts?
Well, you're right. I'm a big Kool-Aid guy.
That's an expression about Jim Jones. I don't even expect you to know anything about anything. How about LeSean McCoy? That's probably the last thing we talk about, leaving off with the thing that started off the week. LeSean McCoy getting busted for leaving a 20 cent tip on like an $80 bill. Did you read that shit?
He said he'd do it again.
Why?
He said the service was terrible, disrespectful.
Disrespectful? I doubt that.
The owner was sitting next to him. He parted that in the other suite or the other bar or the other booth and said it was great service, this and that. People say the service at that place sucks.
Right.
But I don't care. You'd have to defecate in my sandwich for me to leave you a 20 cent tip.
Exactly. Especially for someone who makes so much money.
Yeah.
To him, well, I mean, 20 cents, it's just like, well, speaking of a cultural thing, you can call me all you want. You can call me racist all you want, but it's well known that certain people don't tip. Different cultures, you know what I mean? And then some cultures expect it for everything. I remember I was at a baseball game in Montreal, and I gave the guy like a 50 cent tip for a beer, and he cussed me out, the Canadian, for leaving him 50 cents. But shit, if everybody gives you 50 cents for just pouring beer, doing all right.
It's a tough call. Dude, I was at a Red Sox game last year sitting down low. 4 dudes in front of me ordered some beers, and they tipped the guy, I'm not kidding you, a quarter. And he said something back to him, and they didn't hear it. And I repeated what they said to my girlfriend. Well, they heard me say it. And they were like, dude, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm sorry.
They called you out.
Yeah, I got worse.
And you were like, what? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and then when they came back, they gave the guy a couple bucks, and they like turned and said something. They're like, is this okay for you? And I was like, yeah, just basically kicked my ass.
That's like your boy, what's his name? Wachowski. And the reason I tell a story because it's awesome. The Bruins game. What's his name? Wachowski.
Derek or Tim, I think.
One of
brothers.
One of them. Whatever. They had a Bruins game, and he spilled beer on someone behind him. And the guy said, "If you do that again, I'm going to throw you down the freaking rows." And he did it again. The guy picked him and threw him like 8 rows down. Because you know how the Fleet Center is. You know all that shit. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. People don't get hurt, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He ended up getting sued. You know the story?
No.
He ended up getting sued and lost a ton of money for injuring someone, for him getting thrown down the stairs at a Bruins game.
Jesus.
Boston Bruins, that is.
That sounds like it could happen.
Oh, all the time you go to these arenas, it's tough to walk. You know, I went to LA Kiss game. Speaking of LA Kiss game, I got to talk about this shit. I have watched Fourth and Loud now, Freddie, and I've watched it several times. It's amazing how freaking douchey Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons are. And I love Kiss, but they are freaking awful. And the owners of that team, Skylar something. Have you watched it, Fourth and Loud? Watch it, kid. It's way more entertaining than Hard Knocks.
That's the reality show, correct?
It's the reality show about the LA Kiss and how they, they went in, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley like, we're a Kiss, we do everything top notch. We're going to win a championship in our first year. And they ended up 3-15. It's just them having these like staff meetings with Gene Simmons trying to run a staff meeting and giving these inspirational speeches and shit. Inspirational speeches don't mean shit. It's all about freaking A, who you have, and B, how you use them. Everything else is out the window. I don't know why freaking people spend so much time on speeches and shit, but LA Kiss, 3-5. You gotta go, kid. Gotta go to these freaking LA Kiss games. The only show in town. Although they keep saying this is the year. It's gonna happen to bring a team back to LA. I don't buy it. It's gotta be the Raiders, no?
Has to be the Raiders. But dude, this was going on for a long time. I mean, 2 years ago they had that ceremony where they were Farmers Field, Magic Johnson, everybody was there. They announced it.
That's right.
So it's just
2 years ago now.
Maybe more than that. So it's like, who knows? Who knows why for all you know right now, the NFL is holding out to come here for a sweetheart deal or something.
I guess. I mean, they're tax fucking free. Isn't that amazing? The fucking NFL is tax free status.
Crazy.
They don't pay a goddamn dime. Getting back to that rant earlier about Guardians of the Galaxy and shit, but it's true. They don't pay a goddamn dime into the culture, and we just pour this money in this shit and watch guys like Greg Hardy make it, and the NFL doesn't put anything back. You can say the players put something back, but they don't put back shit. 2 minutes left. Wrote this down. Got to use it. Mel Kiper, best Mel Kiper busts of all time. Internet's great. And I like Mel Kiper, and I think Mel Kiper's great, and he started a cottage industry.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's had the foresight. He's brought us the Todd McShays of the world, unfortunately. Todd McShay's from Swampskit. You know that? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that until fairly recently.
I think he's your age.
Right in his prime, right in his wheelhouse. Anyway, some of the guys that he gave these glowing reviews who never worked out, but it's always circumstantial. That's kind of my point on this thing. Fuck, I don't even have a minute to do it. I should save it, but I'm going anyway. Kaiji Nakata, next Bo Jackson, Jimmy Clausen. If Jimmy Clausen's not a successful starting quarterback in the NFL, I'm going to quit this business. Akili Smith will be an NFL great. J.J. Stokes is a future perennial All-Pro. And Aaron Curry, the number one player on his 2009 draft board. Aaron Curry. You don't even know who he is.
No, I did. He was a kid that played for Seattle and Curran said was weak.
Oh, yeah? You called him out for being weak? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Number one player on his entire draft board. Softy. Speaking of Softy, what are you doing this weekend? You going to any games?
This weekend, no. Hanging low, buddy. It all cranks up 2 weeks from now.
As far as what? USC games?
USC game, then out to Dallas right after.
That night?
Next morning.
God damn it, I envy you. How the fuck did you and your fucking Speedo end up in this situation? That's awesome. That is every fucking red-blooded American male's dream. I'm going to go to the USC game as an employee and fucking fly to a Dallas Cowboy game the next day.
I got to wear Speedo the whole fucking time.
I feel bad for those who have to fly in the plane next to you. Do you have to go hairless when you swim?
I did once.
Once. My best race in my life, man. How the fuck are we ending the show on swimming? Anyway, I'm swimming in my own sweat at this point. My hairs are fucking sweating my balls off. All right, that's it. I'm the coach. This is Ingalls. We are out of here. Later.